Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I want to start off by saying that I do not like this speech. I actually was sick to my stomach preparing it. And some of you might be thinking, it's your icebreaker. You just talk about yourself. How could that be hard? And my problem was that I was focusing on my past for most of it. And a lot of moments in my past that I'm not too proud of. And I kind of had to relive them. And when I do that, it hurts sometimes. It all started 25 years ago when I was born in St. Elizabeth's Hospital in downtown Youngstown. My family moved into a new house here in Boardman, and my father was a special education teacher for East Liverpool High School, and he just became a deacon at St. Charles Church as well. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, but I'm sure that at times she felt like she too was a special education teacher. We lived a pretty modest life. I remember sleeping in bunk beds or sharing a room with my brothers. Whether it was older or younger, I had always shared a room. And also, I always had hand-me-down clothes. Very rarely did I get new clothes. I was always wearing something that they already had. So, home life, it was definitely satisfactory, but it wasn't anything fancy or anything like that. We did have an awesome neighborhood, though. I'm talking where we had enough kids where there'd be 10-on-10 football games in the backyard. We would have block parties where they would literally get a permit to close down the street so that no cars can go down. We could just ride our bikes up and down. We'd have bonfires, a giant tent, and everyone would come. There's a lot of kids in a really awesome neighborhood. My problem was they all went to public schools, and I didn't. I went to St. Charles. And even though my dad was the deacon there, I didn't quite fit in with the rest of the St. Charles kids. The only friends I had were the other kids that didn't fit in. My friends were the Gothic kid in a Catholic school. He didn't quite fit in. There was a Jewish kid, and there was one Asian kid in the school. And those were my friends. I was friends with the outcasts and public school kids. But being friends with public school kids, it honestly kind of gave me an edge over the rest of them. They kind of looked at me like I was some sort of badass, because that's how I like to think about it. But I kind of became just like the unofficial leader of our group. And they might not have feared us, but they came to respect us for being who we were. And, I couldn't ask for much more than that, honestly. As I got older, my parents started to let me make more and more of my own decisions. They even let me choose whether I wanted to go to Boardman High School or Cardinal Mooney. I don't know if I made a good decision or a bad decision, but I chose to go to Boardman. Like I said, I don't know if that was a good decision or a bad decision, but I do know that a lot of the decisions I did make, a lot of other decisions, were definitely bad ones. And I ended up going into the juvenile drug court program, and I had to go to rehab. I never had to actually stay long-term in a facility or even overnight, but I did have to go 3 times a week for 3 hours a day for a long time. And the program definitely changed me, but it didn't stop. I kept doing what I was doing before I went back to my old habits. I managed to finish high school, and after graduation, I wasn't ready for college. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I felt like it would just be a waste of money, honestly. So instead, I wasted money on other things, and my 19th birthday came around. My friends decided to throw me a surprise birthday party up at Lake Milton. After consuming a few drinks and getting intoxicated, got into an argument with my girlfriend at the time because she wanted to leave. She wanted to go back. She wanted to come back to Boardman with her friends, and I just didn't understand why she would want to leave. I was having a good time. We were all there. I just didn't understand it. For some reason, later on, I tried to leave too. I wanted to come back to Boardman probably to finish the fight with her. I don't know why. I didn't get too far. I made just a couple miles down the road when I T-boned a semi going about 50 miles an hour. The momentum from the truck actually dragged me with it, and I got pulled underneath the trailer of it. The back of it came up and it crushed the roof of my car, and it spit me out behind it into a ditch on the side of a road. Somehow, I was able to crawl out of the car with just a few scratches on me. Not only did I crawl out of the car, I got up and I ran. I ran through a field. I'm pretty sure I crossed a stream, and eventually I found a barn. And that barn was a hay pile. I crawled into the hay pile and I slept for the night. I woke up the next morning with nothing. I had no car, no cell phone, no wallet, and I had no idea where I was even. So I walked out to the street, and I just started heading in the direction that felt right. The incident left me pretty shook up for a long time, and it changed my perspective on a lot of things. I kept thinking about the impact that I have on the people around me in my environment, and I thought about what I put my parents through that night, just not knowing whether I was alive or dead that whole time. I felt up to that point all I was doing was causing harm in people's lives and anything that I touched, really. And I was tired of that. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I shut myself off from the world. I isolated myself. And really the only thing that brought me out of that stupor that I was in was the love of my family that never left my side. It took a long time for me to start feeling normal again, or to start reintroducing myself into society. But all that time I had to myself, I think that I found some pretty good things and some things to be proud of. I know that I have drive and I have ambition. I know that I'm a peacemaker, but I will fight for justice. I know that I'm a good friend, and that I would give anyone the shirt off my back if they asked for it. By no means am I done figuring out who I am or what I want to do, but I know that no matter what happens, I'll just keep going with my head up high and a wonderful, loving family behind me. And with that, I guess I'm done. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
All right, you've been a Toastmaster for a couple weeks now, finally doing your icebreaker. Is that something you'd like that it's over with now?
Yes, I'm definitely glad to get the icebreaker out of the way. It does definitely help you get more comfortable with the group, and allows you to take a closer look at yourself and your strengths and weaknesses.
Now, your story, a lot of times people come up and they'll talk about hobbies and I like to do this. Like, yours took a very different turn, that you went a little deeper than most people do. Was there a reason why you did that?
Honestly, no. It was just when I wanted to start writing about me, that is what came out, and that's really the only thing that I could think of to talk about.
Now, being a Toastmaster, you've seen everything. You've been here since the open house, and your brother is sort of a legacy a little bit, kind of keeping at least the legacy going on. I personally think that you're going to be different from him. and he was very good. How do you feel that you're going to be a Toastmaster? You know what, I take that back. You are a Toastmaster. How do you feel about being a Toastmaster?
I am very excited to be a part of the club, and I think that it's only going to help me keep going the direction that I want to go in life. And it was the leadership aspect of the club that brought me to it, and you know, I'm just, I wanted something more outside of traditional schooling, and you know, it was a great fit for me, and I'm excited to be a part of it all.
One other thing I wanted to, you got a standing ovation.
Yes.
Most people do not get a so.
Yes.
Let us know, just how did that make you feel?
It was pretty awesome. It made me feel like I wasn't being judged for the things that I had said, and again, it was very welcoming, and it definitely allowed me to get more comfortable with the group and with sharing who I am as a person with other people. So it was very nice.